Your pulse isn't racing because you're scared. It's racing because something doesn't add up. You're standing in the aftermath of a conversation that sounded gentle, reasonable, even caring. No shouting, no threats, just a calm voice and a reassuring smile saying, "I'm only telling you this because I want what's best for you." And yet, your mind feels invaded. Your confidence is gone. Your instincts are suddenly on trial. You're replaying every word, wondering where you misstepped, or if you did at all. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't concern. This was pressure, delivered quietly. You didn't walk into an argument. You walked into an operation. While you were offering empathy, someone else was testing leverage. While you were explaining yourself, they were collecting advantage. You thought you were having a conversation. They were running a campaign. 5 centuries ago, Niccolo Machiavelli warned that most people don't lose because they're foolish, but because they assume fairness governs human behavior. It doesn't. Power does. Perception does. Narrative control does. The manipulator already knows this. The narcissist lives by it. The covert aggressor survives on it. They don't debate to understand. They speak to position. They provoke to observe. They listen only to map your reactions. While you're trying to be honest, they're studying patterns. While you're defending your intentions, they're reframing your image. But here's what they never prepare for. The moment you stop explaining and start withholding, the moment you stop reacting and start directing, the moment you abandon emotional defense and adopt strategic control, that shift breaks the game. In the next stretch of this video, you'll learn 7 tactical principles drawn straight from Machiavellian logic. Not motivational theory, not surface-level advice, but operational methods. How to become unreadable. How to turn provocation into self-exposure. How to neutralize manipulation without confrontation. How to win without justifying a single word. This isn't about being cruel. It's about reclaiming ground. Welcome to the war room. Let's start by mapping the battlefield. Principle 1. Stop leaking intelligence. The information blackout. You've been told that openness creates connection, that sharing your fears builds trust, that if you just explain yourself clearly enough, the right people will understand. That belief is fatal in hostile environments. To a stable person, vulnerability can deepen bonds. To a toxic person, vulnerability is raw material. Every insecurity you share, every doubt you confess, every frustration about money, work, relationships, none of it disappears. It gets stored, sorted, indexed, waiting for the moment it becomes useful. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He warned that power belongs to those who control what is known and to whom information imbalance creates dominance. The more someone knows about you, the more angles they can exploit. The less you know about their intentions, the more exposed you are. Look closely and you'll see the pattern everywhere. Post online that you're feeling isolated, and suddenly the love bomber appears. Admit financial stress, and guilt becomes a leash. Confide in a supportive coworker, and management hears before you're ready. This isn't honesty, it's predictability. The correction is simple, but uncomfortable. You become deliberately vague. How are things going? Busy. Managing. Moving forward. Planning to exit a toxic job? Tell no one. Building something new? Silence. Relationship tension? Not a public discussion. This will feel unnatural. You'll feel guarded, even cold. Good. Secrecy is not deception. It's protection. In nature, camouflage isn't weakness. It's survival. Expect resistance. They'll say, "You've changed. You don't open up anymore. You're being distant." That's not concern. That's a probe. They're fishing for access. Do not bite. Deflect. Pivot. redirect. I've just been focused lately. How's that project you mentioned? While they speak, you observe. While they reveal, you record. While they search for cracks, you give them nothing. That imbalance, that asymmetry, is power. And if you're starting to realize how often you've been broadcasting your inner world to people quietly mapping your weaknesses, then you're beginning to see the game clearly. Principle 2. Enter the void. Weaponized indifference. Picture this. A meeting, mid-morning. A colleague leans back and says, "Just loud enough for others to hear? Must be nice to leave early while the rest of us actually work." Your body reacts instantly. Pulse up, jaw tight. You want to correct the lie, list the overtime, restore the record. That instinct is exactly what they're counting on. Because truth isn't their objective. Reaction is. Defensiveness reframes you as the problem. Composure exposes them. Machiavelli observed that most people judge by appearances, not substance. The manipulator survives by reading your nervous system, by learning which buttons produce movement. So you become unreadable. This is where indifference becomes tactical. You look at them, pause, 3 seconds, let the silence stretch. Not uncomfortable for you, uncomfortable for them. Then, calmly, interesting take, and you turn back to your work. No defense, no explanation, no engagement. What just happened? You denied fuel. You shrank their move. You signaled to everyone watching, "This doesn't reach me." That silence cuts deeper than any insult, because insults imply relevance. Indifference implies absence. At first, they'll escalate. Louder remarks, sharper jabs, more theatrics. That's not strength. That's loss of control. Psychology calls this the extinction burst, the spike before behavior collapses. Do not break. You're training them. No reaction equals no reward. Predators don't fight stone. They move on. And once you learn to live comfortably in the void, you become very difficult to touch. Principle 3. Redirection. Turn their pressure into collapse. Never collide head-on with force. That's how you get injured. In combat sports like judo, power isn't resisted. It's borrowed. When someone pushes, you don't brace. You guide the push past you and let gravity finish the work. Psychological conflict works the same way. A toxic person wants resistance. They want friction. They want you tense, reactive, defending your position. That's where their advantage lives. Take this familiar scenario. Someone you're having a conversation with says, "You're acting unstable right now." Most people snap back. "I'm not unstable. You're gaslighting me." And just like that, the trap closes. "See? You're yelling, proving my point." Instead, redirect. "I can understand why it looks that way to you." Full stop. You acknowledge their viewpoint without validating their narrative. You're not confessing. You're not conceding reality. You're ending the exchange. This is what Machiavelli meant when he wrote that a ruler should appear to accommodate while never abandoning his objective. You seem agreeable. You seem calm, but the interaction ends on your terms. Every argument with a toxic person costs you something. Focus, sleep, momentum. Is it worth sacrificing a day or a week just to prove you're right to someone committed to misunderstanding you? No, let them win the trivial point. Keep your energy. Walk away. Go live your life. Your ego will protest. It wants justice. It wants recognition. But justice is rare. Peace is engineered. Most people choose to be right instead of powerful. They win arguments and lose their time, their mood, their direction. Machiavelli understood this distinction clearly. Wisdom is choosing the lesser loss. Letting someone believe they want a minor exchange is small. Losing yourself trying to convince them is catastrophic. Principle 4. Strategic absence. Withdrawal as leverage. If you're always reachable, you're inexpensive. Constant availability signals low value. It tells people your time is abundant and therefore expendable. Machiavelli observed that distance weakens shallow attachments but intensifies meaningful ones. In toxic dynamics, absence becomes both defense and pressure. Think in terms of economics. If you're always present to absorb criticism, guilt, or chaos, they'll keep delivering it. So you introduce scarcity. This doesn't always mean cutting someone off entirely. Sometimes that isn't possible. A workplace, shared responsibilities, family ties. But you can still withdraw access. You stop responding immediately. You shorten replies. You skip gatherings that drain you. Emotionally, you step back. The pattern breaks. They're used to you being fixed in their environment. When the fixture moves, confusion sets in. Where have you been? Why are you so distant? Your response stays neutral. I've been busy lately. How are things with you? Distance plus ambiguity. You're not punishing them. You're retraining them. Access to you is not automatic, it's conditional. Picture yourself as a fortified city. For years, you left the gates wide open. They walked in unchallenged, tracked mud across the halls, insulted the guards, left whenever they pleased. And you stood there wondering why it kept happening. Raise the drawbridge. They will rage from the outside. They'll call you selfish, cold, cruel. Let them. You're safe inside. Machiavelli knew that power requires independence. If you rely on their approval, you're subordinate. If you rely on their resources, you're controlled. If you rely on their validation, you're owned. To neutralize them, you build autonomy, financial autonomy, emotional autonomy, social autonomy. The less you need them, the less reach they have. Eventually, something strange happens. When you truly stop caring about their opinion, their influence collapses. They were only powerful while you were attentive. The threat wasn't real. You were simply unguarded. If this is shifting how you see influence and control, stay with me. What comes next is where the dynamic fully flips. Principle 5. Bring them into the light. Exposure as a decisive weapon. Toxic people survive on shadows. They hide behind politeness. They deliver insults wrapped as jokes, cruelty disguised as concern, and they rely on one thing above all else: you not wanting to cause discomfort. They count on your silence. The moment you drag them into public clarity, their leverage collapses. Machiavelli warned that half measures create enemies. A minor wound invites revenge. A decisive strike ends the conflict. Most people confront poorly. A quiet complaint, a subtle reaction, an indirect hint. These don't stop toxic behavior. They energize it. If you confront, you must neutralize. Here's how it works. They make a cutting remark in front of others. You don't react emotionally. You don't joke it off. You stop the moment. You look at them calmly and ask, "Can you explain what you meant by that?" No anger, no sarcasm, just precision. They'll try to escape. "Oh, I was joking." You're being sensitive. You don't let them move. "I understand you were joking. I just don't understand why that was funny. Can you explain it?" Now the room changes. The laughter dies. The air tightens. They're trapped. To continue, they must either admit intent or sound incompetent. You've stripped away the disguise. This works because social predators depend on ambiguity. When forced to clarify, they're exposed. Public humiliation is devastating to people who live off image. They'd rather be confronted privately than revealed publicly. Once they see you're willing to create discomfort to protect your boundary, they retreat. They'll call you difficult. Good. Difficult means expensive. Difficult means not worth the effort. Principle 6. Build the record. Documentation as checkmate. If you're dealing with someone who lies fluently, words are not your battlefield. Toxic individuals excel at verbal distortion. They rewrite history without hesitation. They thrive in your word against theirs situations. And they often win, not because they're right, but because they're relentless. Picture this. A superior tells you verbally, "Take Friday off. You've earned it." Friday passes. Monday arrives. He comes into your office and asks, "Why weren't you here on Friday?" That was irresponsible. You try to tell him that he asked you to take the day off, and he responds saying, "I never said that." Now, you have no witnesses, no proof. You look unreliable. The better thing you would have done is simple and effective. You keep record of everything. After every verbal agreement, you send a summary. Following our conversation, you approved X, Y, and Z. Please confirm. They will hate this. They'll try to pull you back into phone calls. They'll say, "Let's just talk." You don't. "I'm unavailable right now. Please send it in writing." Now the game changes. You're no longer debating memory. You're presenting facts. Time-stamped, verifiable, unmovable. This is what Machiavelli meant by relying on your own arms. Your records are your weapons. Your emails are your shields. Your documentation is reality itself. And here's the rule most people get wrong. You never threaten. You don't warn. You don't announce consequences. Threats signal hesitation. You act. You file the report. You send the email. You submit the evidence. Quietly, cleanly, decisively. When the response arrives, it's already too late for them. At that point, they realize something terrifying. You're not emotional. You're procedural. And people who operate on consequences, not reactions, are dangerous to manipulators. When they lose control over you, they attempt their final move. They attack your reputation. They label you unstable, aggressive, difficult, a liar. This is where most people panic. But this is also where the final advantage emerges. And that's what comes next. Principle 7. The Reputation Fortress. Winning the long game. When the smear campaign begins, your instinct will be to defend yourself. Don't. Defense keeps you trapped on their battlefield. Instead, you build something they can't penetrate. Machiavelli understood this well. The strongest fortress is not stone, it's public trust. If one person spreads poison about you, but everyone else experiences you as composed, capable, and reliable, the math doesn't work in their favor. Eventually, the storyteller becomes the suspect. This is the long game. Toxic individuals burn through relationships. They exploit people, exhaust goodwill, and move on. You don't need to expose them. Time does that for you. Your only task is to remain intact until it happens. Never mirror their behavior. Never retaliate with gossip. If someone approaches you and says, "Mark says you're hard to work with," you don't counterattack. You don't vent. You respond calmly. "I'm sorry he feels that way. He's actually very good at what he does. I hope things work out for him." That moment matters. The messenger walks away holding two impressions. One of chaos. One of control. Contrast does the work for you. Darkness reveals itself when placed beside composure. Not because you're virtuous, but because this is strategically superior. Consistency shapes perception. Silence starves lies. Let them talk. Let them overplay their hand. You don't dig the grave. You simply stop pulling them out of it. It takes patience. But toxic people are addicted to disorder. Eventually, they corner themselves. Your job is to be far enough away when it happens. The tactical system. What you do starting tomorrow. This isn't philosophy. It's deployment. Step 1. Morning calibration. Before you check your phone, anchor this thought. I don't owe explanations. I don't owe reactions. I owe strategy. Write it down. Make it visible. This becomes your operating system. Step 2. In the moment scripts. Never improvise under pressure. When provoked, choose one line. I understand how you see it. Interesting perspective. Interesting. You might be right. Then stop. Silence finishes what words shouldn't start. Step 3. The 7-day reduction test. For 1 week, speak 30% less. Offer pleasant but minimal answers. Redirect attention. Stay vague. Observe reactions. Notice who grows uneasy. Those are the people who benefited from your openness. Step 4. Access audit. List everyone who knows your private details. Ask one question. If this person turned against me tomorrow, what damage could they do? If the answer is significant, the information blackout begins. Step 5. Evening review. At the end of each day, ask, where did I defend instead of deflect? Where did I share unnecessarily? Where did I react instead of observe? No shame, only data. Refine tomorrow. So where does this leave us? You've walked through the war room. You've mapped the terrain. You've learned the tools. Silence, ambiguity, absence, redirection, exposure, documentation, and reputation control. Some of this feels uncomfortable. You might be asking, is this manipulation? Let's be precise. Is a surgeon cruel for cutting to remove disease? Is a guard immoral for securing the gate? You've been held hostage by unchecked empathy. You treated kindness as an obligation. You gave it to people who turned it into leverage. Machiavelli wasn't glorifying cruelty. He was defending order. And you are the state. Your mind is the territory. Your energy is the treasury. Your time is the army. These strategies don't make you heartless. They make you formidable. There's a difference. A harmless person isn't virtuous. They're simply unprotected. But a formidable person who chooses restraint, that's power with discipline. You're not hardening yourself to destroy others. You're building walls so something valuable can grow behind them. Without boundaries, empathy is trampled. Without armor, kindness is exploited. By understanding darkness, you protect the light. You're no longer drifting inside other people's emotional weather. You are the pressure system now. If this reframed how you see power, subscribe and leave a comment. What changes today? One word, one boundary, one silence. You were playing by rules meant for civility in a game designed for predators. Now you know the rules. Now you know the tools. And now you are dangerous. Not because you want to harm, but because you refuse to be harmed again. Welcome back to the War Room.